Dominion Tower is a minigame based on fighting old quest bosses. There are 4 modes to fight them: Endurance, Climber, Special, Freestyle, and you can watch other people fight in Spectator mode. In Climber mode you fight the bosses one after another, getting a new handicap each round, and you can bank in between rounds. In Endurance you cannot bank at all, but you also don't get any handicaps. Special mode is special matches set up by jagex, things like 2 nomads in a row, 15 evil chickens, a bunch of dagonoths, and a few others. Freestyle mode lets you choose any boss that you fought previously in Climber or Endurance mode, or in Special mode actually, that was a recent update, and you can also set the handicaps to whatever you want. You don't get any rewards for this one, but it's fun to do. Some of the rewards you get by unlocking special achievements, things like getting to certain floors, finding certain numbers of journals, killing certain numbers of bosses, and the final rewards are for unlocking everything else. Some of the really good rewards from here are the new gloves. I'll put a link right here for a video of me fighting Nomad with the Goliath Gloves, which are the melee gloves. All of the gloves have a little particle effect. Here are the Goliath Gloves, it's orange, Spellcaster are blue, and Swift, which are ranging, are green. They each have a special effect. The Goliath Gloves hit much harder and much more accurately when you're unarmed. They also have a chance to hit 5 creatures around you, or 5 people if you're fighting people, if you're in multi-combat. And it binds all of them and lowers their combat stats by 10, so that's quite good. There's also the Swift Gloves, which are for rangers. The Swift Gloves have a chance of, when you deal over 2/3 of your max hit, so if your max hit is at 300, if you hit 200 above, they have a chance of firing 2 arrows. And if one shot of those strikes the max hit, then it'll stun the opponent. The Spellcaster Gloves increase damage when maging without a staff, and they can also reduce enemy stats. All 3 of the gloves degrade within 1 hour of solid combat, but that's actually quite a while. It's unlikely that you're doing solid combat even when you're slaying. If you're doing something like dagonoths where you're constantly under attack, then they'll degrade quickly, but otherwise they last quite a while. Another good reward is the dreadnip, which is sort of like a familiar, but you can use it in places where familiars aren't normally allowed, and you can also use it in combination with a familiar. I have a clip here of me testing it out in fight caves. So here's the dreadnip. You click on the pouch, and then click the button, and then click on the monster, and it pops out. It only lasts until the monster that it's fighting is dead, or till you stop attacking for a little while, or till its 30-second timer runs out. And as you can see, it does a significant bit of damage. It's poisoning and stunning the target, although the stunning doesn't seem to be doing anything. Another reward that you can get are Dominion and Ascendancy mines. They're quite useless in my opinion because they're only usable on quest bosses. The Dominion mines work on quest bosses under level 300, and the Ascendancy mines work on monsters over level 300. And what they do is you set them down on the ground, and if the monster walks on them, it does 20% of its health, or it does 20% damage to it. There are also rewards that you get from the reward chests after you finish floors. These include the Dominion weapons, which are like chaotics, but they only work in Dominion Tower. Here's the Dominion Sword. It's two-handed, but it's pretty much like a chaotic maul, except slightly stronger, and it uses slash instead of crush. The crossbow is a bit better than the chaotic crossbow, but it doesn't use bolts, and it doesn't have any special effects because of that, so you might be better off with ruby bolts on certain bosses. You can also get Dominion potions, which only work in Dominion Tower. I have the Dominion Super Restore, Sarah Brew, and Prayer Potion here. There's also Scorpion Meat, which is food that's only usable in Dominion Tower, and it heals 220 life points. And you also get an experience book every time you claim your rewards. The experience in it is equal to 20% of the Dominion points that you got for all of the skills except for Prayer, which is 10%. The best way to get journals for unlocking rewards is to do Climber Floor 1, claim from the rewards box like I just did, and then continue up to the next level. And just do Floor 1 again and repeat. The best way to get Dominion points total and boss kills is to do climbing mode until you get a slow boss, then stop and start over. Once you've unlocked everything else, it lets you go to the very top of the Dominion Tower. To go there, you talk to the face here, go to the rewards, and claim going to the top of the tower. Now at RuneFest, they designed a boss for the top of the tower. They got the concept art out, and they started modeling it, but they haven't completed it yet, so it's not at the top of the tower at the moment. It's just a bunch of these random newbie bosses, which don't drop anything and they just respawn after you kill them. So there's really no point in the top of the tower currently. Another reward is the Dominion markers. You can set them down at certain bosses and it'll boost your combat stats by 8 levels, which really isn't useful at all because it doesn't stack with potions. The only thing it's useful for is if you're maging, because 8 magic levels boost is higher than you can get with anything else. So the Dominion marker here shows different achievements that you've done in the tower. Some other rewards are the Helper Horn, the Diminutive Massive, and there's also a Colossal Bomb. All of those can only be used in Dominion Tower, and the bombs you just detonate and it hurts everything around you. And the Helper Horn generates 1 Scorpion Meat every time you use it. It has 5 charges. So overall, the only good rewards really are the gloves and the dreadnips, in my opinion. The gloves degrade a bit too quickly, but they're not too bad. The problem with the gloves degrading quickly is that you can't have multiples of the same type at once, so whenever they degrade fully, you have to come back here to the face and get another one. In order to get another one, you have to have played 5 extra rounds after you unlock them. That unlocks another pair of gloves that you can claim, or you can also use it to claim another 100 dreadnips. And you can only save up to 5 gloves stored in the face at one time. So since they degrade moderately quickly every couple days, you'd have to come back and do more Dominion Tower to unlock extras. It's also a problem that the Dominion Medallion only has 3 charges a day, so since the gloves only last a couple hours at most, you'll have to run here from Shantae Pass in order to get extra gloves, and that's just not worth it. The dreadnips are quite useful. They will definitely speed up a lot of combat things. They're not amazing, but they will speed things up, so that's a good update. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. It's moderately amusing, and it has a few decent rewards, so good job, Mod Tim.